Okay. Let me get my questions pulled up. So, Mr. Darrion Stumb, nice to meet you.
Yes, yes, sir. Finally, nice to put a name to the face.
Right? Yeah, it's we look through your stuff and it's that gorgeous truck of yours, and now we can get to know the man behind the truck.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, doing all right today? You got all kinds of crap to do later on, or what's the
Yep, gotta head into work about 1:30, 2 o'clock, and then get off about 11:30 and do it all over again tomorrow.
sounds about right. What do you do?
I work at a company called Fiber Animal Health. We make a special ionic food for dairy cows, lactating dairy cows.
Oh, okay. Cool. Very cool. How long you been doing that for?
Uh my 11 year will be in December. I joined basically right out of high school. Went to college for a little bit, wasn't really my thing. So come home and put my hands to work and slowly moved up and finally got to be a supervisor and just kind of enjoying it now.
Nice. Very nice. So, where's home for you?
I am out of Maywood, Missouri, which
Okay.
I'm sure no one has ever heard of that place. Uh, the most well-known town close to me is Hannibal, Missouri, kind of historic for being the birthplace of Mark Twain.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm about 30, 40 minutes north of that, kind of out in the country, live on a farm.
Cool. Yeah, no, looking over some of your content that you've had, um some of that stuff, like some of the backdrops you find are like some pretty stunning sunsets and stuff like that. You guys had some good stuff out there.
Yeah, the I've always been a firm believer the Midwest has some of the best views out there.
It really does. You and we've got some other people we collab with here and there that are out kind of in your neck of the woods, and like yeah, some of those like the sunset pictures and that stuff, it really
Yeah,
hits differently. No, it's cool looking stuff. So sorry, I was looking through some of your content here.
no worries.
Um, so how long? So you're up to a little over 16,000 followers on Instagram. Do you have a, I should know this. Are you on TikTok as well?
Yeah, I have. I just hit 34K on TikTok not
Okay,
too long
nice.
ago.
Nice. Yeah, so that one, that's kind of an elephant in the room, I guess. Are you concerned about this whole TikTok thing that they're talking about, or
Uh, I mean, yes and no. I Don't get me wrong. I'm very grateful for everything it's brought me, but at the end of the day, it is just an app,
very true? Yeah,
and
go ahead.
it's just uh it could go tomorrow. It could last 10 years. The only thing I can do is just enjoy the time I've had on it and the friends I've made and the places I've been because of it. So for what it's worth, I've gotten, more than I've ever expected. So if it ended tomorrow, I'd be happy.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, for me, it'd be one less thing to have notifications about.
Yeah, I heard
Um,
that.
yeah, we set up we tried to set up our shop on TikTok. Uh, but it's weird in the products that it restricts from TikTok. It basically restricts any automotive products
Yeah, I've
whatsoever.
noticed that.
It's really strange. Like we were able to kind of weave our way around some of it and saying, oh well, this is like just a decorative LED light strip or something like that. And so we've got a couple of things listed there, but yeah, like I know my business isn't really gonna like I don't think it will financially suffer if TikTok goes away. Um, and honestly,
Yeah,
I think it like people obviously the demand is there for an extra platform, and so if TikTok goes away, something's going to come up and take its place, and there'll be
yeah.
opportunities
And
to do it
I'm
differently.
almost positive if they do sell it, someone is gonna buy it.
Yeah.
I
Oh
think
yes,
TikTok just yeah,
there's money to be made there for sure. So it's just a
yeah.
question of whether or not somebody will if they're willing to sell it. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I don't know. It's such a kind of a weird and interesting time to be alive in the course of human history,
That
where we're like, there are people whose livelihoods are actually at stake because of an app.
yeah.
And so like how quickly can you adapt to whatever changes are coming and stuff. So, but I think folks like you and me, like I think we'll be okay. I don't know if you
Yeah.
watched our first podcast with Sam Hintermeister, Six
Oh
Slope.
yeah.
Like we're talking about his TikTok that just like disappeared overnight, and like he had 130 something thousand followers. Like it was a big
Yeah.
thing for
Yeah. I
him.
felt bad for him. He's actually one of my really good buddies.
Oh yeah. Oh, so you
Yeah.
guys have y'all met, or do you just know each other through social media, or
Yeah. No, we hang out. I wouldn't say often, but every couple months, one of
okay,
us makes the drive up or down.
nice. How'd you meet him?
Actually, he came to a meet in Hannibal. It was just kind of a little pop up meet, and me and him walked around talking all night. And I followed him, and then he told me who he was. I was like, oh, that's cool, that's cool. And I think at the time he had only had like 30, 40K. And after that, we just struck up friendship. I ended up going up to an Iowa City meet he threw, and after that, it was kind of two peas in a pod, and
Nice.
it's like the older brother, little brother type of relationship. So
Yeah, it's
he's
Sam.
good. He's a really good kid.
Sam's a good kid, for sure. Like he's smart. He knows his shit. So
Very smart.
yeah, his talents will serve him well over the years. So it was nice to get to talk to him. It's kind of like you. Like we've known each other through social media and kind of talked a little bit here and there, but never really like, hey, who are you? Where are you from? What do you do?
Yeah, got
Things.
to sit down, and which all of us living halfway across the country from each other doesn't help either.
Yeah, and we're just down here in the little old town of Waynesville, which it's kind of like where you're from. Like most people haven't heard of it, but they might have heard of Asheville just because of the beer boom they've had
Yeah,
this decade and stuff. So, um, but yeah, so you used to have an LBZ, a cat eye, right?
I did. I
Did
did.
and you because that was you had that when you started with us.
Yeah,
And I remember it
I
wasn't long after that that you got the truck you have now.
yeah
Yeah.
I got. So I started with an extended cab LBZ. That's what I posted my first TikToks with, and then that truck didn't last too long. I have this real bad habit of building them, and then I get bored, and then I just pedal them off and start over.
Yeah.
But then I got the black one, and that's the one that probably most people know me for. It was, it was a mint truck, and that's one of them ones that I think in a couple years when I look back, I'm gonna be like, that's the one that got away.
Yeah. I actually I just read an article, somebody wrote a little blog post about specifically the LBZ trucks, the '06 and '07, and how people are still paying like almost what they retailed for
Yeah,
running for the dealer lot for some of these trucks. And like I see there's one account that I see every now and then, just I don't follow them, they pop up in my feed. It's called New Jersey Truck King. I don't know if you've seen
yep,
this guy, but like some of the trucks that they find there are just, there was one, it was an LBZ with like 30,000 miles on it or something, and they had it listed for, I want to say 34, 35 grand.
yeah.
um
Well,
I was like, and they'll get
what
it. Somebody will pay it.
the thing is, my truck was built, had some tasteful mods,
Mhm.
and I sold it at 170,000 miles, and I got 30,000 out of it.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard not to sell it when you get that offer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it almost puts you in a spot where you have to.
I actually 2 years ago, so mine's an '07 classic crew cab, and I bought it in 2008. Somebody had bought it brand new down in Chesapeake, Virginia, where I was stationed at Norfolk at the time. And or I'd just gotten out of the Navy, that's what it was. So somebody bought it in 2007, put 36,000 miles on it in under a year, and then traded it in, I guess, to get something else. Um and I think the best I could tell, it was like somebody that did like, they were like did car deliveries, so they'd like load up a trailer full of cars and deliver it A to B or whatever. So I think it was
Yeah,
one of those guys, like a transporter or something. Um, so I bought it with like 36,000 miles on it, and I bought it because the truck I had before that was a Dodge Dakota. I loved the truck; it was super clean. It was an '05. They had just changed the body style up, but it kept having like drivetrain issues. And my
yeah,
mom, my mom at the time had an '04 Silverado, and I was like, and she used it to tow her horse trailer and stuff. And I was like, I might get a diesel. That, it seems like a good thing. And I got a great deal on it. And then anyway, fast forward to 2 years ago, it's at like 150,000 miles. And I had it appraised and it was appraised at like 28,000.
Yeah, you're like, what?
Yeah, I was like, it's worth what I paid for it 10, 12 years ago. Holy crap. So I actually, the business did really good that year. And so it was my personal truck, but my business bought it from me. So now it's
Yeah,
actually a business thing and tax write off and all that. And I was able to infuse some cash into the house and do some other stuff. Just like you said, like, how
it's
could you
awesome.
do that and make it all work?
Yeah, I
Um,
will. There's something timeless about the Cat Eye or the GMT 800s. That
yeah,
just that whole fleet.
yeah, no, they're a solid truck too. So tell me about the one you have now. How'd you get into this truck?
Well, another one of them things where scrolling on Marketplace too late one night, I found it up in Chicago, the Chicago area.
Hmm.
So we have an Amtrak system that goes up basically from the town I work in to Chicago. So to save some money, I was like, oh, I might as well just take the Amtrak up there. So we go up there, and the truck cracks out to not be what the guy said.
Oh no.
Like it's got like a bunch of stuff wrong with it, like little stuff. You know, the bones are good, but a lot of the creature comforts that you want in an LTZ don't work.
Hmm.
So I make the guy a pretty low offer. We end up settling, and then I picked up this body style because I used to have a 2011 LML Denali, and I really liked the look of the trucks. But I was always a fan of the Chevy headlights in the '07 to 13s, the kind of square.
Yeah.
I just like that. And then I saw it was bumper swapped already, so it had the 11 to 13 bumpers. So that's one less thing I had to do, and it only had like 90,000 miles. So I brought it home, decided to start taking on a project, and now I'm pretty happy with how it sits right now. It still needs a couple little things, but nothing nothing
It's always
major.
going to need something, man. You know how these go.
Yeah,
It'll never be
they're
done.
they're never perfect, never
No.
done.
No, and that's the thing. Like when you own the thing and it's yours, and you just like all you see are like the little flaws of it, and like
Yeah.
right, and that doesn't, and this doesn't. But when you look through like the stuff that you're posting, like the truck is so clean. And did you put the cowl hood on it?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
That was my big winter project. I was torn between that or doing like powder and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And my powder guy was kind of booked up, so I just decided to do the hood, the roll pan, and then the mirrors are next.
What are you gonna do with those? Are you gonna paint match them because
So
are they the chrome ones right now?
yeah, they're chrome caps, so I'm gonna color match all the black plastic to, just be smooth black paint.
Nice.
Probably leave chrome caps.
Okay. Cool. So what else did you put a lift or anything like that? Like obviously the wheels and tires. Did you do
Uh
what else have you done to it?
yeah. Oh, actually I bought the wheels on the way home from buying the truck. I bought the truck, contacted my wheel dealer because they're kind of up that way. Said, hey, I'm gonna need a set of wheels next week. Said, all right. So I picked up a set of 2414 KG ones, the Trident cut, and then uh I had streets. I just recently upgraded to all terrains.
Okay.
I wanted more of a square setup, so I got some 33 1450s. Taking a little bit of getting used to, a little bit louder, a little
Yeah.
more drive noise, but not overall not too bad. But it's stock suspension. But little teaser, it's not going to be stock suspension here for long. It's
Okay.
actually I'm going to drop the front keys all the way down and do 3-inch drop shackles in the rear, so it's going to be lower
Oh, nice.
on 14 still. So that'll be fun.
That'll be yeah, that won't rub at all.
No, we'll have to do some
Not at all.
trimming for sure.
That's gonna look slick. It's I saw somebody else who had done something like that recently. I forget what the account was, but they had like some wides on there, but it was sitting a little bit lower than you would expect. And I was like,
Yeah,
that's slick. Like you don't
it's a
really
it's a
see
real
that, but
it's a clean look. I like
yeah,
it. A
Absolutely.
big a big inspiration I'm getting a lot of is an account called Midnight 66. Lucas Rogers. He's out of Iowa, kind of up there by Sam. He's got a body style truck like this, and I've always seen that truck and just like, man, that thing's so clean.
Yeah. Nice.
So
Cool. Yeah, I'm looking through as we're talking here, some of your posts, and you had this one like kind of a before and after where you showed the truck where the caption was, "We've come a long way in 7 months,"
7 months.
and looking at presumably what the truck looked like when you bought it with those had like the blacked out wheels,
Yeah,
stock headlights and stuff, and what it looks like now. Like, yeah, it's amazing how much difference it can make. Just doing like a couple of little things can really make it
yeah.
transform the truck into um something that's truly yours. Um,
I, I will say the 2.0 bars to me really spiced up the front end.
nice. Yeah, those
Yeah.
we've been doing really well with those 2.0s. That they were such a long time coming. I'm so glad they're finally here. And now we're out of stock on them again. The 14s, we've got like one pair laying over there. So, and it's gonna be like another 3 weeks before we get more. So, but people are just chomping at the bit to get them. So,
Yeah,
good problems to have, I guess.
yeah, yeah. Business is good.
Yeah, we're cruising right along. Um, so you grew up in, I'm sorry, what was it, Mayfield? May
Maywood.
Maywood. See, I was close. You
Yep,
grew up there, or okay.
yep. I was well. We don't have a hospital, so I was born in Quincy, which is the next town over, and it's actually in Illinois. I live right along the river, the Mississippi River,
Okay.
and then yeah, I lived here my whole life. Ended up buying a house right down the road from my parents, and
Nice.
we all live on the same gravel road now.
That's awesome, man. It's good to have family around and close by. It's like my parents still live in the house I grew up in about just a couple of miles from me. So
Yeah, I love it.
nice to you got are you married, kids, anything like that, or
Nope, living the bachelor life.
nice.
No one nagging at me when I spend too much money on my truck.
There's nothing wrong with that, brother. Nothing wrong with that. Um, so how'd you get into the whole content creator influencer kind of role? Was it just kind of like you were like, hey, I think my truck looks cool and I want to take pictures of it, or was there a plan in place, or
Really, kind of just by the feel of my pants. It was actually post COVID. I've only been posting for a little over a year and a half, maybe two now.
okay,
But yeah, I was just kind of I picked up a camera off Marketplace and I was kind of bored, took some pictures, and I'd posted on Instagram for a long time, didn't have many followers, just hometown friends, and posted on TikTok a couple times, and then I got like my first post with like 1,000 views, and I was like, oh man, I made it. I'm big time now. And then I don't know, I just stayed consistent. Once I got the black truck, you kind of noticed like an uptick in views and like people were really digging the truck. And I was like, well, and you get those first couple comments that are like, oh, I'd love to see more of this thing. And it kind of keeps the ball rolling.
hmm
And then you hit like a small milestone, like I hit like, 1,000 followers. You're pumped up. So I just kept going. And then one day I woke up and I had 10K and I'm like, oh wow. I guess I'm into this now. And then ever since then, I just kind of fine tuned my craft, learned how to edit, learned how to get good shots, and it's become, my one of my main passions now.
nice. Yeah, your edits and stuff and your video shots are super clean. What equipment do you use? Are you just an iPhone guy, or do you have like
Yeah,
um do you have a gyro that you use, or what do you do?
yeah. Right now, I mean, mainly it's just an iPhone and a gimbal.
Okay, that's
I've
what I'm
had I've had some camera shots, not many. Most of them, most time it's just I find a cool spot, just pop out my iPhone and gimbal and take
no,
some cool shots and make a somewhat cool edit and hope it does well.
yeah. So I was looking through some more of your content here while we're talking. The headlights, are those custom or where'd you get those from? Like
Nope, they're
the
just some
LED.
some eBay headlights.
Really?
Yeah, I
Oh,
was just cruising through eBay one night. Because I wanted originally I was going to do C-bar headlights because I didn't know how I would like because I knew I was going to put grill bars. but I didn't know how I'd like the straight line all the way across. But then I decided me and Sam were going to actually build these, put switchbacks where
Hmm.
the LED DRLs are. And once I put the grill bars, I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I made this choice. I
Yeah,
don't see a lot of people run them.
it looks good. I'll have to get you to send me the link to where you found those because those are cool. Um,
That's what me and Sam were talking about. They'd be pretty easy to build. Yeah, something for you to build. Throw
yeah.
some
Oh yeah, especially
animated
if we can put
startups in
the
them.
heck yeah. Yeah, that'll be slick. It's a perfect candidate for that, especially if we could find them. Like I found these LED ones that I've got now for the cat eyes where I can get them unsealed, like
Yeah,
straight
that'd be perfect.
manufacturer. That'd be yeah. So might look into that. And it's we've always got people asking for when are you gonna get something for this or that or the other, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm stretched so thin already. I'm
Uh,
hesitant to try and release more stuff. It's like I talked about on the live stream yesterday. I was talking about the ones for the like the 99 to '07 Tahoe and all that, like these guys.
yeah,
And
those
like
are slick.
they're very cool lights. And I think if I can figure out a way to get the animated strips in there and make it work reliably, like it's gonna be a cool product. But at the same time, like I've already got so much I've probably got 10 orders waiting on me right now to go and build stuff. And I'm like, there's only so many hours in a day.
Yeah, I've only got so many hands.
Yep, especially when you gotta like leave early to go get kids from school and
Yep.
do all that stuff. I've got a 9 and a 5 year old, so
So
that's
you got a
another.
life outside of Sparksmith, so
Yeah, a little bit. It's funny. Somebody asked me like they were like, "What do you do for fun?" I was like, I work and I play with my kids, and
that's about it.
I used to be cool. I used to have hobbies and do stuff, but um, no, I don't regret one bit of it though. My kids are amazing. I really love doing this business, and I love starting to do this kind of stuff where I'm getting to know like it's because I want to have these relationships with people where it's more than just like a follower count.
Yeah,
I saw something the other day. It kind of it spoke to me. It was like it said build friends, not followers. I was like,
yep.
that's like a mantra I could really get behind because like
I
this,
like that.
yeah. um so it's interesting to me as we've kind of grown our following and especially our sponsorship stuff, like how many of you guys know each other through this like community, this truck community that has spread like across the whole country. Like we've got people in Montana, California, Texas, all through the Midwest, and it's like there's so many of you guys that like know each other or know of each other or whatever. Like it's kind of a cool thing to see how it all kind of ties together.
It is awesome. It seems like the truck community, there's obviously the toxic stuff that, we stay away from, but it is amazing some of the relationships that can be made, you know, just from
Absolutely.
owning a truck.
Yeah, right. Um, yeah, we've got coming up here in Waynesville next month is a truck show called the Mini Truck Nationals, and that one's it's almost a whole different demographic of people, but the same kind of passion for stuff. And some of the trucks that these guys build are just insane with like all the hydraulics and
Oh
all
yeah.
this stuff. Like it's one of those shows. Maggie Valley is a very small venue, and to be a vendor there, you have to basically apply for a vendor spot the day that they started taking applications because
Really?
the show happens in April. I emailed them in October and they were like, "Sorry, we're sold out." Like that's yeah. And I've been trying for 3 years to get into that show. Um, so it's I can at least go out there and enjoy it and kind of just spectate and stuff like that. But again, it's that whole community of people who are just like, you know, look what I build, look what you build. Like, tell me how do you do
Yeah.
it? So
I mean, at the end of the day, we all share the same passion.
absolutely, absolutely. So I was looking through the questions here. Favorite modification. If you had to pick one thing you've done to the truck you have now, what's the one thing you've done? You're
Oh,
like, that really, that one was the most satisfying thing to see or do or whatever. And it doesn't have to be the grill bars. Don't, just whatever.
oh man, that's a tough one. One singular. I mean, I feel like it has to be the wheels.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think wheels, I mean, you literally throw a set of wheels on a stock truck and it just changes the look totally. If it's
100%.
not the wheels, then it's the cow hood.
Yeah, I could see that
but I would say wheels. I'm a big, I like a big set of shiny wheels, so I'd have to say probably my KG1s.
for sure. Yeah, no, those look good, and you're not wrong. It's even my dad always said he was like wheels and tires can like make or break
Yep.
a
Like,
vehicle if like they're out of proportion or if something's not right or if you're it can throw the whole thing off.
I completely agree. You can do everything right and mess up. To each their own. No hate,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, for my personal style, I can see a truck that has everything right, and it's just like the wheels just kill it.
Mine, my truck has 18-inch wheels on it right now. And when I put them on there 7 or 8 years ago, like that was a fairly big wheel to put on a truck like that. But
Yeah.
for me, it was a big change because I was coming from like the stock 15-inch
Yep.
HD wheels.
You got some
Which
18s. Like, oh man.
yeah, I was like, and I spent probably 3 months doing tire size calculations to figure out the biggest tire I could fit without a lift kit. I ended up with it's a 305/65. It's like I think comes out to about a 31-inch tire. And
Yeah.
it's a big meaty tire, but when I look at what other people have done now, I'm like, man, I'm behind that. I'm like the small wheel gang over here. I've been thinking about going up to something like a little size bigger, but time and money. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. They're
Um,
not cheap, that's for sure.
yeah, you got to pay for your thrills, though, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Have there been any of the mods that you've done that were like particularly challenging or like that was like, stuff just didn't work like it was supposed to? Or do you think the suspension stuff coming up is going to present any challenges?
Yeah. The suspension stuff's not gonna be fun because there's a pinch weld that runs down the bed of these, makes your makes your drop shackles, the top bolt, not want to come out.
Mm,
Actually, the cowl hood was kind of a pain because it didn't line up very well out of the box. We had to shave some and sand, and other than that, everything's been pretty smooth. Paint took a long time, but it was negative 30 degrees here for a while, so
yeah,
I can't blame the guy for not wanting to paint.
that's fair. Did you paint the whole truck or just the hood?
Just the hood and roll pan.
But the rest of the truck, the paint was in pretty good shape because it looks clean, man.
It's not bad. It needs paint corrected pretty bad. It's got some spots where you can tell the guy used the truck how it's intended. Probably drove it through the woods, whatever. But none of them are super deep. They should come out with a nice two stage. It's
Yeah,
just finding the time to do that between going to shows and trying to install parts and work, and
all the
it's kind
things.
of true. Yeah.
Yeah, I know how that goes. Do you have some shows and events lined up for this coming season?
Yeah. We have, which May's gonna be super busy. There's gonna be a local show up here at Top Notch Customs, which is a big wheel dealer up in Iowa. And then the weekend after that is Music City. And then the weekend after that is Auto Motion. Weekend after that is UCC. We plan on going to all those.
Nice.
And then I'm sure we'll have the useless 6-7 meet in Indiana later in the year. And then uh there's another show in Missouri called Higby. Ernie Boggs throws that. So we'll be quite a few of those. And then I usually try and go to a couple pop up meets around, to hang out with some people that don't get to see me all the time or whatever.
Nice. Yeah. Busy schedule. We've got a couple of shows we're planning to go to. I've been keeping my schedule kind of light this year. Mostly because I want to spend time with my kids and
Yeah.
spend my summer with them. Then don't get me wrong, I'd love to go to all the shows, but same time the travel stuff ends up taking so much time.
It's a
Um,
lot of long drives.
yeah. Yeah, the Music City one, I looked into that. I may still try and go to that one because Nashville's 2.5 hours from me, so I'm not that far away.
It'd be sweet.
Um, yeah, so that one's on the radar for me. But if nothing else, I can follow along with people like you and kind of live vicariously. And
Yeah. There'll be tons of content coming from that.
heck yeah, I'll have to send you some more business cards and stickers and stuff.
Oh yeah, I'll
Um,
get them passed out. I will say grill bars draw a lot of comments and likes.
Yeah.
Every video, there's 2-3 comments. Where'd you get the grill bars? Where'd the grill bars come from?
At least you got a good answer for it.
Yeah, I send them all that way.
Absolutely. What else? I think I've covered most of the questions that we had for you, but um so future stuff. We talked about your show schedule and the suspension modifications and things like that. Um how about this? If you could have any one truck, like your make, model, and like money no object, what would it be?
All right. This is actually going to probably surprise some people. It would be an '06-'07 blue granite metallic, fully loaded sunroof LBZ, cat eye.
Okay.
So it's like that. I'm sure you've seen the color, like that light blue.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd
It's like
be one of those fully paint matched and with like LT3 sunroof, rear entertainment. That's a very rare find.
it's
And
I've seen a couple of those around. There's actually there's a kid in my town that has a an extended cab in that color. And I see him all the time. I've talked to him once or twice at one of the local shows. Good guy, but and his has like 200 something thousand miles on it, but the truck looks great. But yeah,
this is
that color's slick. I really like it.
my favorite color of all time.
Yeah, I could see that one, like you're saying, all paint matched and stuff. That'd be a gem for sure. Um, so are you in the LMM right now? Is
Yeah.
that where you're cool?
Yep.
It's,
It seemed fitting.
absolutely. Yeah, I like the dark gray leather. That's one thing. Like on my truck, it's got the kind of khaki beige interior, and I've always
Yeah.
wanted that dark gray that they had on those. And I've thought very seriously about doing a full swap one of these days, but I don't know if I'll ever get around to it or not. It almost seems like it'd be easier to sell that truck and find one that has it in it or something. But
That's what I like about when they switch body styles. They did black leather.
hmm.
I know like Cat Eyes and GMCs didn't have black leather. Like this one is all black.
Nice. Yeah, they had that dark gray, and that was about as close as they got. But how many miles are on that truck?
Just rolled over 104,000.
Oh, okay. So she's just getting broke in then.
Yeah, I don't drive it a whole lot. I live on gravel, so I try and refrain from drive. I got a beater that I drive during the week, so it's kind of just a weekend toy.
Oh, okay.
I know they always say you should not drive your truck, but
I mean, as long as it gets driven every now and then, and like mine's kind of
yeah,
the same way. Like it mostly sits around the shop, but I'll use it for truck stuff to tow the boat or
yeah,
haul a load of cardboard or whatever. And um, sometimes I just feel like driving something big and loud, and
yep.
yeah,
Sometimes I just feel like being cool,
yeah,
honestly.
that's it.
Like, how are people supposed to know that I'm cool if I'm driving my, beat up farm truck?
What's the beater?
It's a 2003 GMC Sierra half ton extended
Okay,
cab.
nice, solid choice.
Yeah, I stayed in the GM gang. I almost ventured out when I sold my LBZ. I was really looking at third gen Cummins, but I've never had one, so I think that scared me a little bit, not
Yeah,
knowing anything about them, and so I just ended up getting this truck. But it'd be I wouldn't mind having one eventually for like a race truck or something, but I
yeah.
know too much about the Duramax platform to venture away from that right now.
Yeah, I get that a little bit from people. They're like, all you have is cat eye stuff, and I'm like, well, I'm not trying to be exclusive to just the GMT
Yeah,
800 platform, but it's like you said, I know it so well, and I've got one here to play with.
yeah, exactly. That makes sense.
So
Like,
familiar with it.
there's something, comfortable about being comfortable.
Yeah, and
And
well, and also kind of um having that expertise, if you will. And I'm by no means an expert, but like um having that level of knowledge on something so specific, but there's such a community for it, and there's so many of them out there that like
yeah,
want to be able to
exactly.
know what I know and know it well. So I know how you feel.
I guess one thing I forgot to mention about
Hmm,
future plans is I have some parts at powder right now. I finally got a powder color figured out.
okay. Yeah,
The
you'll have to let
illusion,
us you have to let us in on that whenever it's ready. It's like,
yeah,
is it going
it's
to
a
be
cool.
is it going to contrast from the black or
Yeah, it's a pretty cool color. It's called Illusion Malbec.
hmm, okay.
It's like I don't know how to explain it. It's like it's a reddish purple color with a lot of flake. So I was trying to find something I haven't seen a ton of because my last truck, everything was illusion purple.
Okay.
And after doing it, I see 100 trucks on TikTok that have illusion purple, and I'm like, dang it.
That just means you're a trendsetter.
Yep, they.
Oh. Yeah, Malbec, because I can see that being kind of a red wine kind of color, but
Yep,
Lake's gonna that'll look good on there for sure.
yep. So I'm doing suspension parts, and then everything under the hood will be illusion Malbec.
Okay, cool. Can't wait to see it.
I
We'll
mean,
have
I'm
to,
excited.
yeah, we'll have to get you some lights to under the hood to kind of light stuff up under there and showcase it when you open the hood.
I actually thought about that because I think I'm gonna do a custom cut mirror.
Hmm.
Take out my that panel, the cloth panel under my hood, and I think I'm
Yeah.
gonna do custom cut mirror.
Okay.
So
If you do, yeah, if you do that, and if you want to have some white lights that'll kind of really make it pop, I think our rock lights might actually work really well for that. So when that
yeah,
time comes, just hit me up and we'll see what we can do for you.
let's do it.
Hell yeah, man. All righty, my friend. I think one parting question. Yeah, advice for aspiring creators, people that are kind of up and coming, like if you were gonna go back and talk to yourself, when you hit that like first 1,000 followers, do you have any tips and tricks or
Well, I got a couple. I would say the main one: do it for you. Don't do it for the followers. To me, this I don't even want to call it fans, supporters. That's icing on the cake.
yeah,
It's the relationships you build, the places you get to go, the memories that you'll have forever because of it. If you stick with it, you're gonna meet some really good people. You're gonna meet some really bad people, but you're gonna build some really awesome relationships. And I would say don't take that for granted. Don't look at the numbers of your views, your followers. I only gained 3 this week. Who cares? If you get if you get 25 likes on a video, I try and tell people this. Imagine you walk outside to start your truck and there's 25 people standing around it like, man, this thing looks really good. I really love this truck. Like,
yeah,
you'd be ecstatic. That'd make your week.
mhm,
So who cares that your video only got 25 likes or 15 likes? And then tips, I would say consistency and quality of content. That's the two biggest things that'll help you get if you consistently, pump out solid high quality videos, the supporters are going to come. It's bound to happen.
yeah.
So that would be my biggest advice to anybody. If you enjoy it, don't give up. Because it gets tough. I mean, you see guys that have 20, 30, 40,000 followers, videos only pulling 200 views, and then they're not happy.
Hmm.
Just keep pushing through it. The sun will shine again. So
Yeah.
that's my biggest thing is just keep going. If you enjoy it, just keep at it.
That's I think that's the important caveat. Like you said, do it for you, do it because you enjoy it, and people really enjoy that authenticity. Like
Yeah.
don't glam it up with stuff just for the sake of that. Like do it because it's something you're really into or you're really passionate
Yeah.
about. And that's kind
My
of like that's how I've gotten kind of to where my business is now is just because I'm so passionate about I've always loved lighting and I've always been a car guy. And like when I found a way to do both of those things and like kind of make
yeah,
some money at it every now and then, like I was so
you
stoked.
just yeah, it makes it all worth it.
Oh, 100%.
It makes
100%.
all the long nights, all the hard work, I'm tired, after work, but it's like, you meet one supporter that's, ecstatic to meet you, like they've always wanted to meet you.
Mm-hmm.
That makes my entire month.
Oh yeah, that absolutely
Like,
would for me. Yeah.
and like it's at first it's kind of hard to get used to. Like, obviously I don't think that I'm famous, but like, my truck gets noticed quite often, around here and in the surrounding areas.
Mm-hmm.
At first it was kind of weird for me, because I'm just a regular dude. At the end of the day, I go to work, put my pants on the same as you do. But it's really cool to hear people's stories like, oh, you're an inspiration for my build and you're the reason I got into trucks, and like that is it's like almost surreal.
Yeah. Yeah. It
And
can be a very humbling kind of thing. You're like, what? I'm just doing my thing, you know?
yeah, I was doing this before social media, but it's a great place. I've met, I mean, heck, like three of your sponsors are some of my best friends. Sam, Alex, like those are two of my best friends, and it was all because of trucks.
Nice. Well, that's the world we live in, and I don't hate it.
Yep,
So,
I
well, hey,
like it.
man, this has been an absolute pleasure and an honor. I'm so glad to finally put a face to the truck and the name and all that. So, I'm glad we got to do this, and I really appreciate your
Yeah,
time.
I appreciate you
Um,
having me. I really enjoyed it today.
absolutely. Well, keep doing your thing, man. And like you said, do it for you. And we will be right there with you. So obviously, if you ever need anything from us, you know where to find us. To anybody watching this, thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to be doing some more of these podcasts with great people like Darrion here. So, stay tuned for more of that. And of course, go check out Darrion's content at LMM_DStumb. And we'll be sure and tag you, man, in all of this content and send it along so you can use whatever you'd like of this. Um, cool. I think that's it. I've got some work to go do, and I'm sure you got stuff to do too. So,
Yep.
thank you again, Darrion.
Again. Yep.
Pleasure to
Thank you
meet
for
you.
having me.
We're gonna
Uh,
we'll find a time to meet up in person one of these days. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. I'll make my way out there for a show one time and we'll link up.
All right, man. Sounds good. Thank you, brother.
Yep. Have a good rest of your week.
You too. Take care.